let's start from the very beginning. You came to Dubai initially doing real estate.
Yes.
You're now working in finance. What was it about real estate initially that brought you over to Dubai?
So I'll be honest with you, I was doing real estate in the UK. So I studied something completely different. I was in university doing counseling and psychology,
Wow.
which is contrary to what I'm doing now. And yeah, I managed to get a part-time job, but I loved it so much. I was actually doing full-time university and full-time real estate. And then I was actually one of the very few lucky ones, I would say, that had been able to maintain a job during COVID because real estate in the UK was booming. So did that for a few more years, and then I'll be honest with you, an email landed in my inbox.
Yeah, spontaneously.
Well, there's more to it.
Okay.
You know, I just graduated uni, a couple of years of COVID have gone by, and then I'm like, okay, what do I want to do with my life and my career? So I've been applying for, you know, lots of graduate jobs, did so many assessment centers.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, you know what, like, I'm just going to give up, because it got to a point where I was just giving up work to do assessment centers. I'd always be top 2, top 3, and then, you know, I'd get email, sorry, we've chose someone else.
Yeah.
So I left it, and then a few weeks later, I just got this email from this lady saying, we think you'd be a great fit in Dubai. Like, have you ever thought about doing Dubai real estate? I thought it's a scam.
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Like, I just,
It sounds
you
too
know,
good to
I had
true, yeah.
always had Dubai in my mind,
Yeah.
but never at the time that it happened, which was 2023. And then I was having dinner with my family, like, 5 days later, and they were like, well, why are you just not exploring it? Just see what it's like.
Oh, so your family actually urged you to take the step? Yeah, okay.
Because I'll be honest with you, I was not in a good place. I was just, you know, going to work, coming home. I was not, as much as I'm good at my job, I wasn't happy in the job that I was doing. I just wanted something more, and I always knew UK wasn't for me.
That was doing real estate back in the UK that
Yeah.
you were referring to, yeah.
So yeah, they did, which is weird for Middle Eastern parents, right? And being
Yeah.
Muslim at that,
Yeah.
and immigrants at that,
Yeah.
to let me just go to a whole new country. But yeah, they urged me, and then had a chat with them. Funnily enough, straight after that, a few other agencies reached out to me. I was like, where is everyone getting my
Yeah.
CV from? So yeah, and then I ended up saying yes. And you know what? I've come here and
You've
wouldn't
never
look
looked
back.
back since, yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
So in terms of when you received that email initially to actually moving over here permanently, what did that timescale look like?
So I delayed it myself. At the
Okay.
time, there was supposed to be a wedding happening, which was my sister's, but then it got, you know, delayed just with everything going on. So they wanted me to start like the month after. This was in like end of April, early May. And then in 2023, and then I told them I don't want to start till fall, which was like October.
Yep.
But ended up being end of October, and then my first day at work was the 6th of November.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so a few months in between, but
Yeah.
it can be quick. Like, you know, because real estate is very fast paced.
Yeah.
You know, if they approve you, everything's good, book your tickets, come to Dubai, start work.
You're quite lucky that they let you delay that process in terms of moving over, because that was about a 5-6 month gap.
Yeah, there was, but that's
They
what
must
I
have really
do.
wanted you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you know your worth, and they'll know you're worth the wait.
Yeah.
100%. And I was like, if you want me, you're gonna have to do it on my terms.
The ball was in your court.
Yeah, absolutely, because
Yeah.
they want me to move to a whole new country, like, you know, and start something not completely new, but obviously it's different to what I was doing anyways. It's
Yeah.
not the same, you know, type of the way it runs anyways. So yeah.
So let's talk about some of the differences between real estate in the UK and Dubai. You mentioned that you weren't a fan of doing real estate in the UK. What is it about Dubai real estate that you like?
UK was just very mundane.
Okay.
I was just, you know, pick up the phone, book a viewing.
So it's a lot more cold calling.
No, it was more like, because where I was by the coast of Newcastle, and
You're a Geordie girl.
I can't claim it fully, but I was
You don't have a
raised
Geordie
there.
accent.
No, I'm a proud immigrant. So I moved there when I was very young, and you know, I didn't know a word of English. So the only way to learn was to watch TV shows, and you know, so I grew up just hearing lots of different accents, and then a lot of American shows. So I feel like I just have a mixture of worldwide, my own personal accent, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, UK was just slightly like, you know, people call in, you have a listing, can I book a viewing? I want to put an offer in. And it was just getting very like, you know, repetitive for me. What I like about Dubai was that it's just Yes, it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that can be a good thing and a bad thing. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you how to deal with high net worth individuals. I mean, of course, there's like many successful people in the UK too, but not in the sense that we're talking here.
Yeah.
You know, it taught me communication. It just the fast pace. But of course, it's a big high stake. You know, you never know. One day you can be doing so well, and then the next 2 weeks there's no activity whatsoever. So that can be quite stressful as well, but that keeps me on my toes.
Yeah. And they do say that the commission over here is a lot better in Dubai than in the UK.
I mean, yeah, UK commission is barely, I'll be honest
Pennies.
with you.
Yeah.
Usually in the UK, the way they do it is that you don't really sell off-plan like you do here, but the ones that are ready properties, when you list them, you give the seller a fee, and that's the fee you get. And usually it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of the houses in the UK can go up to the millions, which we were selling because we were by the coast. But also a lot of them can range from like, you know, 250,000 to maybe 500,000. Of course, because Newcastle's a much smaller city. So it won't be like London where they're very high ticket prices. So, yeah, commission here is definitely a lot more. But of course, there's no salary.
Yeah.
So
Purely
if you
commission
don't,
based.
yeah, if you
You're
don't
not
sell, you don't
selling.
eat. Yeah.
So what was that like when you initially came? How long did it take you to make your first deal?
That was scary.
Yeah.
Like, it was, because I didn't know what I was... Look, I'll be honest with you, that first job I told you about, I lasted 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
As in the job when you moved over to Dubai? Okay.
Yeah. At that real estate agency, it wasn't exclusive off-plan or anything like I went into. It was just, you know, pick up the phone, cold calling, do rentals. It wasn't really paying the bills. And also the type of environment it was, I wasn't really thriving.
Yeah.
It was the type where let's hire as many people as we can, because most of them end up leaving anyways.
They didn't set you up for success, no.
Right? So there wasn't a lot of focus. So I left that now being just not confident. Can I do this? Like, what did I move here for? And then I ended up in a job where it was exclusive off-plan sales. And I'm going to be very honest with you, I didn't sell for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to admit that, because I think it shows to me, because I don't need, you know, my feelings validated by anybody else, but to me that I prove me right. I'm a hard worker, and I'm willing to stick things out and not just give up when things don't go my way.
Yeah.
But after that, they kept rolling in.
Yeah.
And that's usually how they say
The first one's always the hardest.
First one's always the hardest.
So you must have had a nice little celebration when you sold that first unit, yeah.
Well, when the commission actually
When
gets
the commission,
paid.
yeah.
Because that's another thing over here. I mean, look, it's all great, but just certain times you're waiting long periods of time. You know, it's just, you get sold a dream here.
Yeah.
And not other industries, now that I'm in another industry, but the real estate industry, especially when they're hiring, they do tend to sell a dream.
Yeah, they make it sound a lot more glamorous than it is.
Like, you know, I was told within week 2 you're going to be selling. You're going to be, you know, only come with this certain amount of money, because actually within, you know, month 1 you're going to have like 6 months worth of rent because of your commissions. So it's just like a way of luring you in, and then not getting...
They tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, like, you know, I have this conversation a lot where I say, I'm only a year and a half older, but actually we're still young.
Yeah.
You know, especially as you're 25 or just turning 25, I feel like we're still, you know, in our early 20s phase. I'm just a girl. I feel like I've transitioned into being a woman now and knowing what I want and who I am. But, you know, I was naive to like come here and believe those people. But of course, what am I going to do? I've never been here. I didn't know. I actually had never even visited Dubai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not even on holiday?
No, not even on holiday.
Okay.
I only would do connecting flights back to go wherever I needed to
just
go
at the
to.
airport, and you never
just at
actually
the
left the
airport. No.
So that is a huge risk you took.
Yeah, but I am like that.
Yeah.
I like to just...
They say life rewards those who take risks, so...
Yeah, you know what it is, Monty? I am... Again, coming back to the conversation of, I am a first-generation immigrant.
Yeah.
I have to work 10 times harder than most people. I've had to learn... go my way up just to get to where I am now. So I always have to think outside the box, and that, you know, I thank my mom and dad for that, because they always opened up a space, no matter how much different Western thinking is to Eastern thinking, and to allow me to grow. So I had to just be like, you know, my dad sacrificed a lot. I've done everything. I started working when I was 14. So if I don't take these opportunities now, who knows when they'll come back around. And I always believe that there's a reason why everything happens in your life.
Absolutely.
And I'm a believer of God. So I think it was his plan. Because like I say, I can't count the amount of times I was doing graduate assessment days.
Yeah.
Every single time. And then none of them worked out. And, after, interview 15, you're thinking to yourself, okay, am I good enough?
Yeah, you
is
start
this
to doubt
happening?
yourself. Yeah.
And then obviously this, hope came around. And of course, at first it was slightly tricky, but now I can say no regrets.
You know what they say, when one door closes, another opens. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Firm believer of that.
Yeah. So would you have any advice for someone who's looking to get into real estate out here? Maybe some things to look out for in potential companies, some potential red flags? Just any advice in general that someone looking to get into real estate out here would?
You have to be strong. And I would say before we get into like the personality traits you need to have, come with money. And I know as much as they say, oh no, you only need like, a few thousand, pay a couple of months rent and then you sell, you get your... No, it's a long process. I would say if you do not have 6 months worth of living expenditure, then don't do it. Because you could come and you can sell within 1 month, and then by month 3 or 4 you'll have your commission. Or you can come and be like me, and luckily I had me and I had the support of my family, but I know not everyone has that. So one thing I'd say is get your money up before you come. And also when you're not thinking about everything that you have to pay for or all your expenses, you're only focused on one thing, and that's your job. Whereas if you're thinking, oh, how am I going to pay this month's rent, or how am I going to survive, then it's just going to alter how you are. Now in terms of giving advice for somebody who wants to go into real estate, definitely don't believe in any dreams they sell. When you come here, it's a dog's world. And as harsh as that sounds, everybody's in it for themselves. There's no base salary. So again, if you don't sell, you don't eat. And these people are hungry. And if you just stick your head down, don't get lost in the lifestyle, you can really make it work, But I think also look at the company, see how they do lead distribution, how if it's off plan, what kind of projects they have. But yeah, don't just throw yourself into it, because it is hard, but if you can stick it out, you can really make it work. I've seen people's lives change, including my own.
All it takes is one huge villa on the palm to change your life. Commission
absolutely
wise,
but you need to be making sure that no one's messing you around with that, because people do that here. So I was involved in this. No, you don't. You can't have the full commission, or actually this happened, that happened. So
you have to be careful.
Be very vigilant. But it's good. I think it teaches people how to be resilient, how to be strong. But also I would say this is not a reason to also be a bad person, because that's what happens. Is so many people,
the greed of money
gets to people so much. Like so much, it's like blinding them. Like they no longer care about anything.
I think in commission-based roles, it's very, I don't want to say easy to fall into that trap, but things tend to just be all around money, and it's unfortunate, but I guess it's just the nature of working in that kind of dynamic.
It is. And there's so many, it's so saturated. So that's the thing. If you don't come with being unique and authentic in yourself,
you need to come with your A game, have a plan.
Yes, absolutely. It's a business. Like at the end of the day, I'm employed by someone, but this is my own business. Because it's again like being self-employed. So you have to, not rely on anybody but yourself to do things right, and just be careful of who you trust.
Absolutely. So you worked in that role for 2 months, you said?
No, that one was just like a come to Dubai. I did all the lifestyle stuff, in Dubai, and then I just left it. And then I fell into another job, which was exclusive off-plan sales, which was really nice because that's when my career started. And I was working on this beautiful ultra luxury villa community off plan in Meydan. Love the area so much, I'm living in Meydan now. So and then I moved on to some luxury apartments, one in downtown, one in Marina. So that's when things started picking up.
And when you initially moved over to Dubai, were there any potential struggles that you had in terms of visa, housing? Was there any sort of issues that you ran into along those lines?
I know others did,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
So it's quite smooth for you, yeah?
Yeah, only because, look, I'm a person of doing my due diligence and just making sure I'm researching. I had my place booked for, some people came and only booked their Airbnbs until they gave their visa for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then, they're stuck having to, and it's also the time that I joined is winter season, which is like, prime season here in Dubai. So everything's extremely expensive. So I booked like 6-7 weeks so that I'm safe, like, in case visas take long. And it did.
Yeah.
The first job, like the reason why, later on I found out why it took them a month and a half to actually do our visa. But by the time I got to week 5 and I had 2 weeks left on my Airbnb, because I wanted to just pay for an apartment. If I'm paying all this Airbnb, I may as well live in a permanent apartment, right? Yeah. I had to pressure them. I said, if you don't, like, I'm a, go with a certain different attitude, So, yeah, they did mine, which was not fair because they did everybody with the Western passports first and then the others. But the reason I found out is because they employ at such a high, number. And before they spend money on doing your visa, they'd rather just see who falls off first. Okay. So they're not spending money on their visa first.
That's a cheeky way.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Yeah. And also they have the cheek, most companies, especially real estate, to claim back training costs. But it's really their visa cost. So if you leave within a certain amount of period of time, there's something called a training.
Okay, so they'll actually charge you as the employee to
pay that back because they trained you and you left before probation.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't pay that.
Yeah. Oh, so you just left and
I ain't
said
paying
happy
for
days.
a visa that they were responsible for.
Yeah, true.
One thing about me, I'm so nice and kind, but you do not get to walk all over me.
Yeah. That's when the forms come out.
Not quite, but
Yeah, no, you can't let people walk all over you. You got to stand your ground and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you really have to, especially as a girl, Monty. You have to realize, no matter what industry I'm in, not only am I up against all genders, and then, especially some male-dominated industries, you're up against them as well. And even if somebody is... nowadays it's getting better, but, for a while, you have to try 10 times harder than your male counterpart to get to where you're going. So you have to be. You can't be a naive little girl like I was when I first joined.
I would say there's probably more ladies in real estate now than there are guys.
Yeah, there is. Which doesn't create a good reputation. But
I think that's a whole different conversation.
That's a whole different conversation.
So at what point did you decide real estate was enough and you wanted to hang in your boots and look into a different career path?
Look, the type of person I am, I love challenge.
Yeah.
I have ADHD, so for me... I actually
think I do too. I haven't tested myself, but I do think I'd have it as well, yeah.
It's common. It's just different levels, and it affects people in certain ways. Like for me, I'm very blessed in the sense that I get given a task and I can complete it like this, and I learn things very quickly, but not by theory. Yep. So you can't sit me down at a table and be like, just do this, because I can't. My brain can't take it. But give me practical things. Like for example, I drive around Dubai without a map, and not because I'm trying to gas myself up, but only because I have I wouldn't say full photographic memory, but I can visualize things and where things are, and I'm like, okay, I need to take this road now. So for me so I like challenges, and I get drawn to change. And going back to even the UK, before this real estate in Dubai, with the graduate jobs I was applying for were completely different.
What were they?
Like some were in, business development, some were supply chain management, some were leadership roles.
That's quite a contrast, yeah. And your degree was in?
Counselling and psychology. Okay. So everything was different.
I feel like the modern day and age we live in today, your degree doesn't necessarily define your career path. I know quite a few people who have studied history, literature. They've gone on into tech, law.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think more so in the Western world. I think over here, unless you have good connections, there are certain jobs that need a specific, like most project managers in the UK can go into it through different routes, even if it's not a direct degree, like my sister has. But over here, you need to have that degree. Again, unless you have connections, so that matters. But yeah, I was always drawn to do something different. Like, I'm good at real estate, but I'm not happy in, because it was just becoming repetitive, doing the same things. And
do you think it was the external factors that came with real estate that
especially in Dubai?
Your love away? Yeah.
in the UK, it was just mundane, and I was just sat behind a computer all day. Over here, you get to do briefings and presentations, go and see different agencies, especially the role that I was in.
Yeah.
You know, I was technically a developer's agent, so I was able to do, you know, go everywhere and meet people. And
I guess with the caliber of real estate that you are working with out here, I mean, I think Dubai's got some of the most beautiful units ever.
Yeah, and so it was right up my street.
Probably quite different to
and
real
I
estate in
wasn't just
Newcastle.
looking at old, you know, Victorian, you know, terraces and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they're not beautiful, but you know what I mean.
It's a different style,
Yeah,
different vibe.
different vibe. So this really matched me, but I was just at a point. I got messed around a lot in real estate. You know, you ask anyone, most people will tell you I had the most potential to be the biggest, one of the biggest, because of the hard work. You know, it'd be 11:58 p.m. and I'd get a call and I'll answer and I'll do work.
Yeah.
It's 24/7, non-stop,
It is.
high stake. And it's so unpredictable that it was just driving me insane.
It was draining you, yeah.
It was really draining me. And it was at a point I was like, I don't want an industry where the managers or the industry itself or the people around me don't have my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
Because you grow, they feel like they are missing out on something,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So for that reason, I always knew I wanted to do something different and maybe build a career, but also because I'm young. Well, I would like to think so, but you know,
You definitely
I
are.
don't know if 26 is young or not. But no, it's just, you know, I always want a family and things, you know, in the future. And I would never want to go into something later on and then think I wasted, you know, many years just being stuck somewhere. But also now that I don't have any responsibilities, now is the best time to try something new because I can put my focus on it.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking to myself, you know, what if I'm like 35 with like maybe 1 or 2 kids or whatever. I mean, it's all in God's hands, but and then I'm like trying to change careers. Maybe it's going to be difficult, but of course, like I also understand like most of the successful people do it later on in their life. But I just figured, and I think, you know, we've had this conversation before, work hard in your 20s and
That's
then
it.
and we'll play later whilst
Yeah.
everybody else is playing now.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, okay, this is the moment I can take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
But even still, the industry that I'm in now, like it was also just spontaneous.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
kind of landed in my lap.
I think those who take risks in their 20s will benefit in the longer term. And I think you definitely took a risk, you know,
Yeah.
jump in career path. You could have easily stayed in real estate. As much as it probably would have stressed you out, you know, you decided to take the jump and move elsewhere, look elsewhere.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. You're now a finance lady.
Yes, I am.
How did that come about? Real estate to finance, that's not common, is it?
So it was towards the end of my career in real estate when I decided I'm going to apply and just see what there is. But anyone who has applied for jobs in Dubai will know my pain, that you apply for so many, you have the right qualifications, nobody gets back to you.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it was like a couple of months before I left. It was like, you know, beginning towards mid of fall or early winter. And I just applied for random things on LinkedIn. It was at that point because you're just applying
You
for
were getting
things.
desperate at that point because...
It wasn't desperation. I had two other job offers.
Oh, okay.
But
Was that in real estate as well? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were quite different though.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was more management and the other one was to work for an actual developer. And there would have been a salary involved. So for
Okay.
both of them. So I
So
wasn't
at that
really
point in
concerned.
time, that's when you were in the off-plan real
Yeah.
estate job, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So one of them was to either go, and that, the second offer belonged to a good friend of mine. And the only thing was, I just wasn't ready to go back into that type of real estate environment.
Yeah.
The other one was to work for a developer. Now, that developer is one of my top developers in the UAE. Like, I just think the quality of build, their, you know, designs, their locations are fantastic. So I was really keen to work with them. But again, it was just ringing in the back of my mind if I'm changing jobs now. Because although I do like change, I don't like to change. I'm not one to just be jumping jobs every 2 months. I don't like that. So I like to stick it out long enough to see if it's exactly what I want to do or not. And I think 1 year is plenty of time. But yeah, so as I had actually about to sign the offer letter of that particular developer's job, when I got a call back from this job, which is, finance. So I'm head of business development at a company called HF Quarters. And we basically specialize in helping anybody with a strategy. So that could be traders, entrepreneurs, companies, asset managers, anyone really, to set up their own hedge funds. Now, at the time when I applied for something called a client relationship manager.
Oh.
Because again, I was at a point, I'm like, do I want to stay in sales? Do I just want like a more career path type of, job? And this is how much I'm saying I just applied. So I ended up going to the interview. The interview is going extremely well. I'm like, I'm so happy. Then towards the end, my CEO currently goes, we loved everything about you and, it's been great, but, you don't have a finance degree, which is required for this role. And it was at that moment I realized, and they know this now.
So walking into the interview, you didn't actually know the job title?
No, I knew the job title.
Knew the job title.
I just didn't read the last part where, it says like preferences, like you need to have a finance degree. Because again, I had just been applying for so many things, I just forgot. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go for this interview. Because in the back of my mind, I had 50% or 60% at the time accepted that developer's job.
Yeah.
Long story short, I thought I'm not going to get a call back. And that's when I really started going to 80% to accept that developer's job. But just as I was about to sign, I thought, you know what, let me send them a message. I had a second interview, actually. Okay. Sorry, before that, I had a second interview. And this time it was with two of a gentleman and one, they're both board of advisory in our company. And amazing people. So as we're talking, again, the conversation keeps navigating towards sales.
Okay.
And in the middle of the interview, like one of them just goes, amazing man. He goes, okay, what if I make a different proposal? Not this job, but you help me with sales. Right. And then, you work alongside me. Then I didn't hear anything back.
So they actually forged a brand new job role just because they liked you so much.
Yeah.
That's a testimony.
And absolutely. And I'm so honored. But I didn't hear anything back for like a month. So then I was like, you know what, before I accept this developer's job, because at this point I'm now 99% sure, because I wasn't happy at the other company, I'll be honest with you. Great people, probably bad management skills at that company. However, just before I did, I decided to email them and just say, look, I'm not using this, in a certain way, but I have another job offer and I'm keen to accept that. But I'm also curious as to, where this could lead to. So then we jumped on a call the next day. And then he literally broke the news to me. Sorry, we filled that role. We thought, somebody with a bit better background in law would be better for that job. And then, however, we really like, who you are and what you can bring to the table. Yeah. So we would like to offer you head of business development. Wow. And I was very honored.
Yeah, that's a big thing, yeah.
And that was one of the biggest reasons I said yes. Because I knew I'm jumping into something completely different. And I was, at points I'm like, can I do this? It's totally different. But the fact that they would create a whole new job for me.
Shows the kind of people that you'll be working with.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I jumped right into finance.
That's amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So you've been at HF Quarters for how long now?
7 months.
7 months, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you say your previous career in real estate has helped your current career in finance? Well, absolutely. I guess the industry is finance, but you're still technically doing sales.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're at the end of the day selling a service, if that makes sense. So it is still, but business. I don't believe business development and sales is the same thing. I feel like business development is more about building trust. It's not about what I can sell to you. It's about how I can help you elevate.
Forging those relationships.
Yeah. But real estate really helped. It really did. It allowed me to take all those experiences of dealing with high net worth individuals, being under pressure, and, because dealing with high net worth individuals, and we're talking people who don't just have, $500,000 to $1 million in their account.
We're talking hundreds of millions.
Exactly. Yeah. So it really teaches you how to act different, a different type of emotional intelligence, how to be a people's person, network with different types of people. So that really helped to come into this career. But don't get me wrong, imposter syndrome was real. Oh. So many times I was sat behind this desk and I'm looking at all these industry jargons and I'm like, I don't know if I know any of this. But now looking back, I'm like, I'm so glad I stuck it out because now I love what I'm doing.